Hey, want to know the secret to really advanced strumming? Well, it's going to be combining both 8th notes and 16th notes all within one beat. Let's have a look. So if you made it through the last video or you've got your basic 16th note strumming down, you should be able to play a rhythm kind of like this with 16th notes on beat 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So there, I've got a beat split up into all 4 16th notes to use it up. But to make it more interesting, I could fit 2 16th notes and 1 8th note into that same space. So if you remember when we were breaking down our different types of notes in one beat, we can fit 1 quarter note, which will take up the whole beat, 2 8th notes, or 4 16th notes. What this really means is that each of those 2 8th notes gets split into 2 more 16th notes. But we don't actually have to split both of these 8th notes at the same time. We can actually split them separately, combining both 16th notes and 8th notes in the same beat. So we can either split the first 8th note, which starts on the numbered beat, or the second 8th note, which starts on the and. If we split the second 8th note, it would be counted 1 and if we split the first one, it would be 1 E and. So let's try out a rhythm with one of these. I'm going to start off with all 8th notes and then go into beat 2 and split the second 8th note, the one on the and of 2, into 2 16th notes. So if I give this a count first, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you remember from last time, the tricky part of strumming 16th notes is getting your right hand into that faster gear where we have to start moving it twice as fast. This also changed how our strum directions mapped onto the beats. So for all those other 8th notes, all the numbered beats are going to be down and the ands are going to be up. But when we get into that beat 2, we're actually going to have 2 down strums in a row since we're dealing with 16th notes. The thing that's going to stay the same is that our numbered beats are always going to be down strums. This definitely goes for beat 2. But when we get to the and of 2, that's going to have to also be a down strum, so that our of 2 can be up, and when we get to 3, we can do another down strum. So if I play it on an open G chord, it'll sound a little something like this. Let me count you in first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. And of course I can flip it around by splitting the other 8th note into 2 16th notes instead, the one that starts right on beat 2. And if I were to count this one out loud, it would sound like this. 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and this rhythm will again give me 2 down strums in a row, but this time on the and of 2 and on 3. So now we can give it a play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1. And of course we can mix up these 2 different combinations of 8th notes and 16th notes on different beats and with other types of rhythms. So have a look at this one, combining quarter notes, 8th notes, and 16th notes. Kind of like the rhythm we looked at in the last video, it has 4 16th notes, but this time they're split between 2 different beats. So on beat 2 I have the second 8th note split into 2 16ths, and on beat 3 I have the first 8th note split into 2 16ths. So if I give this one a count, it would be 1, 2 and 3 E and 4 and 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 1. And I can give it a play. Watch where my right arm kicks into gear and where there are 2 down strums in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 E and 4 and 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 1. So this might be pretty tricky at first to be switching gears and making sense of your strum directions. Probably best to start with the first 2 examples, just splitting 1 8th note at a time, and try doing it on different beats. Then you can get to some more interesting combinations like that last one, maybe even combining with some ghost drums here or there. And speaking of ghost drums, you might remember that we can get them by using dotted quarter notes. Well, What if I told you there's also such a thing as a dotted 8th note? Well, once you get this down, then we can have a look at that in the next video, and even more ways to combine 8th notes and 16th notes all within one beat. So subscribe if you'd like to see more, and as always, happy practicing.